France 2 is a French public national television channel. It is part of the state-owned France Télévisions group, along with France 3, France 4, France 5 and France Ô.France Télévisions also participates in ARTE, EuroNews, several cable, satellite thematic channels, and Mediamétrie.Since CET on 7 April 2008. All France 2 programming has been broadcast in 16:9 widescreen format over the analog SECAM air frequencies and the French DVB-T multiplex frequencies. An HD version of France 2 has been broadcasting via DVB-S service channel.It since 1 July 2008 and on DVB-T since 30 October 2008. History. Originally under the ownership of the RTF, the channel went on the air for the first time on 1 January 1964 as RTF Télévision 2. Within a year, ORTF was rebranded as La Chaîne. Originally, the network was broadcast on 625-line transmitters only in preparation for the discontinuation of 819-line black and white transmissions and the introduction of color. The switch to color occurred at 14:15 CET on 1 October 1967, using the SECAM system. La Chaîne became the first color television channel in France, although TF1 would not commence color broadcasting on 625 lines until 20 December 1975. Such technology later allowed the network to air programming in NICAM stereo. The present channel is the direct successor of Antenne 2, established under a 1974 law that mandated the breakup of ORTF into 7 distinct organizations. 3 television program corporations were established in 1975: TF1, Antenne 2 and FR3, now France 3, alongside Radio France. The production corporation Société Française de Production, the public broadcasting agency Télédiffusion de France and the Institut National de l'Audiovisuel. Antenne 2 and the other corporations were constituted as limited companies with the state controlling 100% of the capital. Although the 3 channels were set up as competitors vying for advertisers, they retained a collective monopoly over television broadcasting in France that was not repealed until 1981. Privately owned channels such as Canal+ and Le 5 soon became major competitors to the state-owned channels after the state monopoly was lifted. The breakup of ORTF had been intended to stimulate competition between the public channels but failed in the same. Both TF1 and Antenne 2 came to rely on a diet of popular entertainment shows alongside cheap American imports, seeking to maximize ratings and attract advertisers. TF1 was privatized in 1987, radically affecting the balance of the French television market. The remaining state-owned channels came under severe pressure from the private competitors and lost 30% of the market share between 1987 and 1989. In an effort to save them, a single Director General was appointed to manage both Antenne 2 and FR3, and the 2 channels merged to form the France Télévisions group. They were renamed in 1992 as France 2 and France 3 respectively. By 1995, the combined audience share of the 2 state-owned channels was 41%, with France 2 in particular being heavily dependent on advertising and sponsorship revenues, which comprised 43.8% of its budget by 1996. The focus on ratings led to strong rivalry with TF1. for instance prompting the two channels to broadcast popular shows and news programs in the same time slots. TF1 and France 2 compete for the same demographics. Dramas, game shows and light entertainments formed the dominant mix on both channels. Leaders of France 2 show **** minimum TV shows currently on air. Italian coverage. From 1975, Antenne 2 was available in Italy using SECAM and since 1983 using PAL until 2003 when the frequencies were sold to various television networks, such as Canale Italia and Gruppo Editoriale L'Espresso. Since the 11th of December 2006, France 2 was again made available across Italy on digital terrestrial television until the 7th of June 2007, when it was replaced by all-news French TV network France 24. France 2 is now only available in Aosta Valley due to Italian self-government laws, and in the border zones because of natural spillover. Controversy. Lebanese civil war kidnapping. In March 1986, an Antenne 2 news team was kidnapped in Beirut while reporting on the Lebanese civil war. Philippe Rocco, Georges Hansen, Aurel Cornet and Jean-Louis Normandin were four of many Western hostages held by terrorists during the conflict. During the opening sequences of Antenne 2 news bulletins, the headlines would be followed by a reminder of the French hostages held in Lebanon, including others such as Michel Serra and Jean-Paul Kaufmann, with names, photos and the length of the captivity. Within a year, most of the news team had been released and returned to France, but the reminders continued until all the hostages had been freed. Mohamed al-Dara shooting. On the 30th of September 2000, France 2 aired the famous footage of the shooting of Mohamed al-Dara in the Gaza Strip. The scene was filmed by a Palestinian journalist, Talal Abu Rama, who worked for the station. The voiceover, blaming the killing on fire from the Israeli Defense Forces, was provided by the channel's reporter Charles Enderlin. Subsequently, that account was put in doubt, with others suggesting that the fatal shots could not have come from the IDF position. France 2 later launched libel actions against commentators who alleged that the incident was staged. Although France 2 initially won a case against one of those critics, Philippe Carcenti, the judgment was overturned on appeal in May 2008. Based upon evidence presented by Carcenti, the court held that libel allegations could not be supported and upheld Carcenti's right to criticize the station over its coverage of this affair. 2008-2009 Israel-Gaza conflict. France 2 has been accused of airing misleading footage of the event that was biased against Israel during the 2008-2009 Gaza conflict. It aired portion of a video that purported to show destruction caused by the Israel Air Force in January 2009, but was shown to be a different incident from 2005 in which the IDF denied having any involvement. After being alerted to the error by bloggers, France 2 acknowledged the error and formally apologized in the magazine Le Figaro, saying that it was an internal malfunction caused by the staff having worked too fast. 2013 report on weapons smuggling from Serbia to France. France 2 has been accused of knowingly producing and airing a news item whose key part it fabricated and staged. On Thursday, the 7th of March 2013, France 2 aired an 8-minute investigative report purporting to expose a weapons smuggling channel from Serbia to France. The report authors, journalists Frank Genorzo and R.E. accused refugees they traveled to Serbia in February 2013, where they filmed a story claiming that Serbia is a hub for international weapon smuggling. Among its footage, the report showed two masked men, identified as Serbian weapon smugglers, who talked about the supposed illegal activity while showing off some of the weaponry, in particular 2 handguns and 1 AK-47 Kalashnikov. They're also shown firing off rounds in the woods. After the report aired, the Serbian police's criminal department conducted a month-long investigation, revealing its findings in May 2013 that parts of the French news story were staged with full knowledge of the two France 2 journalists. According to the police report, Genozo and they arrived in Belgrade, where they hired a local media fixer named Alexander M., who was employed at a Serbian news agency, giving him the task of finding weapon smugglers willing to go before camera. Alexander M. apparently contacted his cousin Nenad Mirkovic and told him that the French were willing to pay €800 for weapon smugglers. At this point, Mirkovic decided that he himself will appear on camera, and also contacted his friend Zarko Blagojevic to do the same. In order to make their act more credible, they then obtained 2 handguns, Zastava 9mm and 7.56mm, from Blagojevic's father-in-law and father respectively. They also decided to get an automatic weapon by buying it from certain Milorad Novakovic, a resident of Umka. Apparently, the two first offered him €200, but Novakovic wanted €350, at which point they went back to 2 French journalists asking for more money and getting it. Coached by Genozo and the footage featuring masked Blagojevic and Mirkovic was shot at a house owned by Blagojevic's friend in Umka. Afterwards, they went into the nearby woods in Duboko near Umka, where they fired off a few rounds for the cameras. They then returned the 2 handguns to Blagojevic's father and father-in-law before selling the Kalashnikov for €100. According to the Serbian police report, Alexander M. was paid €300 by the French journalists, while Mirkovic and Blagojevic split the €800 between themselves. Serbian Foreign Minister Ivan Mrkic reacted to the police report by seeking explanations from France, as the ministry looks to make sure the untruths from the report are clarified.